In the previous video, we found the total amount due after 3 years for this case. Now we have to find the compound interest on 10,000 rupees for 3 years at a rate of 5%. Find the total amount due after 3 years. In one of our videos, we understood the need for compound interest. Let us form a table so that you can understand the concept of compound interest well. We form 4 columns: years, principal, interest, and amount due. You will understand the significance of these columns soon. Let us consider year 1. The principal at the start of the first year is 10,000 rupees. What will be the interest we get in year 1 then? The interest we will get at the end of first year will be 5% of 10,000 rupees. That is 500 rupees. And what will be the amount due after the first year? It will be the principal plus the interest. If we withdraw the money after the first year, we will get 10,500 rupees. Let us look at it again. Basically, we have kept 10,000 with the bank for a year. We got 500 rupees as interest, and this is the total amount you would get if you had withdrawn money after the first year. But the question says we have kept it for 3 years. Now let us get to the second year. If we had to compute just the simple interest, we would have taken it as 5% of the initial principal. But that is not what we are asked for. We are asked the compound interest. The bank actually gets to keep 10,500 for the second year and not just 10,000. So, for compound interest, the amount at the end of the first year is taken as the principal for the second year. So 10,500 rupees is the principal for the second year. And 5% of 10,500 is 525. The amount due after the second year will be this plus this, which equals 11,025. Now we come to the third and the final year. This amount will be the principal for the third year. And the interest for the third year will be 5% of this, which equals 551.25. The amount you will get after the third year will be this plus this. It will equal 11,576.25. These three numbers are the values of compound interest we get every year. If we add these three, we will get the total interest received for 3 years. Their sum equals 1,576.25. This is the compound interest. So if you remember, for the same sum, we got the total simple interest as 1,500. The total compound interest we're getting is 1,576.25. Why is the compound interest higher? It is because the principal we take at the start of every year increases. Let's understand the comparison without formulae and tables. We have a principal of 10,000 rupees. It's kept for a period of 3 years at a rate of 5% per annum. We have seen how simple interest is received. We have the principal in the bank, which will always remain safe. Of course, until we withdraw it. At the end of the first year, the bank pays you an interest of 5% on this 10,000 rupees principal. That's 500 rupees. These 500 rupees will also remain in the bank until you withdraw it. Again, at the end of the second year, the bank pays you an interest of 5% on this principal, 500 rupees, and 500 rupees again at the end of the third year. Every year, you get an interest on the principal you invested. Forget the notes. These bars are enough to tell us the total amount we have. The total amount you will have at the end of 3 years will be 11,500 rupees. 10,000 plus 500 plus 500 plus 500. Let's understand compound interest in a similar way. You have invested a principal amount of 10,000 rupees in the bank, and that will remain until you withdraw it. At the end of the first year, you get an interest of 5% on this principal, it will equal 500 rupees, which will accumulate in your account. Now, to witness the beauty of compounding, we need to see what happens at the end of the second year. At the end of the second year, we get an interest of 5% on the principal of 10,000 rupees. And hey, we also get an interest of 5% on the interest we received previously. That would be 5% on 500 rupees, 25 rupees. This money will also remain in the bank until you withdraw it. If we happen to withdraw the money at the end of the second year, we will get 10,000 plus 500 plus 500 plus 25, 11,025. Notice that the interest accrued previously does not remain idle. Just like the principal, the interest also generates more interest. You should be able to guess what happens at the end of the third year. The 10,000 rupees generate a 5% interest of 500 rupees. The 500 rupees generate an interest of 25 rupees. These 500 rupees also generate an interest of 25 rupees. And these 25 rupees generate an interest of 1 rupee and 25 paise. This entire amount rests in the bank until we withdraw it. So what will be the total amount we get at the end of 3 years? These four together equal 11,500 plus 75 plus 1.25. 11,576 rupees and 25 paise. You can see a very obvious difference between the two styles of calculating interest. While compounding, the interest also generates interest. In simple interest, it was a case of principal generating 500 rupees, 500 rupees and 500 rupees. In compound interest, the principal generates 500 rupees in year 1, 500 rupees in year 2, and the interest received at the end of year 1 also generates 25 rupees at the end of year 2. At the end of year 3, the principal generates 500 rupees. This interest generates 25 rupees. This interest generates 25 rupees. And this interest generates 1.25 rupees. For a moment, ignore the notes and look at the graph of amount against the time. Observe how the money grows. The trajectory in simple interest is like this, linear or a straight line. But look at the trajectory of growth using compound interest. The money grows exponentially. What you saw is interest calculated yearly. Sometimes interest is also calculated half yearly. We will cover that in the next video.